Welcome back to Mike Sports and One. I'm your host, Ben Merrick. Today's video is going to be the top 5 centers over the next 5 years, rounding out our top 5 positions, a lone position series. The top 5 overall players over the next 5 years should be coming pretty soon. You guys like talking about sports every day, football, basketball, and like these ranking videos, please subscribe. You'll get more of that in your feed every day, and that'll be definitely good for you and definitely good for me. So leave a like on the video. We're going to hop right into it, give you an intro short. The center position was deeper than I thought for sure. Like when I was doing these rankings or going into it, I thought the point guard was going to be very deep. Shooting guard wouldn't be as deep. Small forwards would be very deep. Power forwards not as deep. And the centers would be, It turns out the small forward position was very weak. Power forwards were incredibly deep and talented. And the center's position is pretty good. I like this position a lot more. The thing is, I don't see, like at point guard, I see there being a superstar, like super duper star, generational talent. Same thing at power forward. I don't see that this position. The top 3 are definitely, even the top 5. Actually, the whole top 5 is pretty much interchangeable. Like I would see if you put the 5 at the 1, honestly. I don't see these guys being like super duper stars. Definitely superstars on their team. Definitely number 1 options, but it's an interesting list, and we'll just get right into it and you can decide for yourself. So drop your lists down below in the comments. I always read them. You guys don't leave a lot of them, so it's pretty easy, but I always read them. I always reply. I love hearing your guys' opinions, so just let me know. So we're going to, as you guys probably know at this point, we have 2 honorable mentions, which is basically my 7 and then my 6, and then we go 5 to 1. So we're going to start off with honorable mention number 1, which is basically my 7. Marvin Bagley III, the center for the Sacramento Kings. Marvin Bagley, very athletic, very talented, super mobile, can shoot the ball very well, and has a decent post. His post defense is all right, and his perimeter defense is obviously lacking, but it's a center, and I don't expect perimeter defense out of any of these guys. I didn't see a ton of him out of his rookie year and sophomore season, but there's definitely flashes of incredible talent there. I could see him moving up in this list easily. I just haven't seen a ton from him. I loved his game at Duke. He went number 3, and I honestly, he could have gone higher. So I absolutely love Marvin Bagley. I loved him, especially in his rookie year when he got playing time, but he's been hurt. He's been struggling with his knees. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think Marvin Bagley has a ton of potential. I just couldn't rank him high on this list, but I bet you guys could. So moving on to number 6 for my other honorable mention, Jusuf Nurkic, center for the Portland Trailblazers. Jusuf Nurkic has really stepped up his game in the last couple years. He's coming what we wanted him to become for Portland. He is a dominant, big center that just stays in the post, plays great post defense and great post offense. He will contest any shot, and sometimes that messes him up because he got dunked on by LeBron, but he is a great player, a great inside presence. His problem is that he fractured his leg, and he came back and he looked pretty solid, but I don't know what his future is going to look like, how much more he's going to progress. So for that reason, I'm just going to keep him as an honorable mention. And then if you look at the top 5, you'll see how much more talent there already is and how much more potential there already is with those 5 guys. So I don't think I could rate Nurkic higher. I think there's definitely a debate for Mitchell Robinson over Nurkic, for Marvin Bagley, some other names, Jonas Valanciunas possibly. I could see all that, but I don't have them over Nurkic, obviously. All right, so my number 5 is DeAndre Ayton. Phoenix Suns center, just finished up his sophomore season. His rookie year was great when he played, didn't play a ton. His sophomore year, even better when he played. He just barely played. He will be a 25-10 machine. He's going to be a dominant player that Devin Booker is going to run with if they keep that duo together. I see them being a super solid duo. I said the same thing in the last video about John Morant and Jaren Jackson. I think this duo will be a lot like it. People compared this to Shaq and Kobe. Obviously, not really talent-wise, but it is definitely a dangerous duo, and I think that the whole West has to watch out for them. They run well together. I just need Ayton to stay healthy. I think you could definitely make a case for him to be at 1 on this list, 2, 3, 4. definitely leave your comments below because this is a super interesting position. So moving on to 4, Bam Adebayo. We saw him have a great bubble, a great season overall last year. Great defensive player. He'll make a lot of all defensive teams over the next 5 years. I see him grabbing maybe a most improved if he can improve his three-point shot. He can shoot the ball decently, he just doesn't shoot it a lot, which really brings down people's opinions on his overall game. But his inside work is great. He has a floater for a big man. It's amazing. He has post moves. He is very athletic and very fast, which he's probably the most mobile big man on this list. And that does a lot for him. He can guard 1 through 5. Or not 1. I mean, I wouldn't put him up with a point guard. But 3 through 5, he can guard your best offensive threat at the wing, which is very, very valuable. And I hope the Heat can hold on to him because he's a very valuable piece. So moving on to number 3 is Karl-Anthony Towns. He hasn't necessarily flourished into the best center of all time, which is what some people thought he could be. His defense is lacking for sure, and his post offense even isn't the greatest. But if you're looking for a center that can stretch the floor, Karl-Anthony Towns is overall an amazing offensive center. A great shot. He's mobile. He has vision. He gets boards. Like I said, his problem is the rebounding, but if he progresses the way he continues to progress, he could be one of the better scoring big men of all time. And that is obviously very valuable for Minnesota. We'll see what they do with him. There's been possible talks of them blowing it up. I feel like if Mike D'Antoni can get his hands on Cat, the Nets could possibly work wonders with him. I don't see that happening. I also think that if Daryl Morey could get his hands on Cat in Philly, I think that could be the best spot for him if they were to keep Simmons and trade Embiid. So I think that he has some potential to grow here, and that's why he's at 3. But he's already he's a top 3 center already. So I think Cat will stay like that over the next 5 years. But I could also see Bam or Ayton taking up his spot. For number 2, Joel Embiid. If he can stay healthy, he will be the best center in the league. I have a lot of questions about him staying healthy, and that's why he's at 2. He's working on his vision. His vision's gotten better. His three-point shot has gotten better. He's an amazing defender. Amazing best post offensive player of this generation. He makes that lost art not so lost anymore, and that's what makes Embiid special. Looks like there's going to be some changes to that Philly team, so it'll be interesting to see how he works as probably the by far number 1 option for the time being, unless they can pull off a Harden trade. Or maybe he'll get shipped out. Maybe it's to Minnesota, maybe it's to Houston, and he's the only option. We'll see what he does. I think he could have an MVP caliber year, a Defense Player of the Year caliber year. I'm not saying that will happen, but I think he will be a 5-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA player over the next 5 years, and for that reason, he's number 2. And lastly, shorter video, huh? Lastly, at number 1, I got Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets center. The reason for this is this man is a point guard in a center's body. He's not as mobile, and he is a weak defender, but looking at his offensive game, he's complete. He has a low post game. He has a mid-range game. He has a three-point shot. He has vision. He can snag you boards. Outlet passes better than point guards. His offensive game is so complete that he makes everyone else on the team better. And I think that from the center position, that's something that's very, very valuable. He's been working on his way. He dropped 50 pounds over quarantine. I expect him to be faster and be better on the defensive end because of it. He's a big guy. He's 6'11". I think he has the tools to grow as a defender, maybe to just an average defender. And if he could do that, he will be the number 1 center over the next 5 years, which I expect him to be. I think he's going to compete for MVPs with a possible triple-double average year. And that, to me, propelled him to number 1 on this list. Again, guys, drop your comments below because I see this being a super debatable position, and you're not wrong. If you think Ayton's the best over the next 5 years, honestly, I wouldn't really be mad at you. I'd accept that. So, just let me know, guys, because, again, this is a super interesting position. like the video, subscribe if you want to see more basketball talk, more football talk. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by like the end of the year. So if you want to be a part of this, it only takes one click. So I'll rock with you guys in the next video.